in this city. Everyone has a secret.
Imagine this. A coroner. Let's call him Dr. Dexter Finch, a man who has seen it all. He's meticulous, detached, and believes that the dead have stories to tell if you just know how to listen. One rainy night, a Jane Doe is wheeled into his morgue. Standard procedure. He performs the autopsy, notes a few minor contusions, a single clean puncture wound to the abdomen. Cause of death: internal bleeding. Case closed, right? But something feels off. A nagging doubt, a loose thread he can't quite grasp. The case files are a mess. The police are pushing to close it, but Dexter can't shake the feeling that he missed something. So against protocol and his better judgment, he decides to do something almost unheard of: a second autopsy. He reopens the body bag, lays the cold flesh back on the steel table, and his own blood runs cold. The old injuries are fainter, almost healed, but there are new ones. A fresh, ugly ligature mark around the neck. Bruises blooming on the wrists, dark flowers markings. These weren't here before. He's sure of it. He checks his notes, his photos, his recordings. Nothing. It's impossible. Is he losing his mind? Is someone tampering with the body? The morgue is locked tighter than a drum. He's the only one with a key. Days turn into a week, and his obsession grows. He performs a third examination. The strangulation mark is gone. The wrist bruises have vanished. But now, the body shows signs of severe blunt force trauma to the head, a fractured skull that simply did not exist a few days prior. It hits him like a physical blow. The body isn't decaying. It's regressing. It's aging backward, revealing a timeline of violence in reverse. Each new autopsy uncovers an older, more brutal crime, peeling back the layers of this woman's tragic end. It's a medical anomaly, a scientific impossibility, but the evidence is right there on his table. This isn't just a Jane Doe anymore. She's a living or unliving chronicle of her own demise. Dexter becomes a detective racing against time, or rather, against the reversal of time. He follows the gruesome trail back from the puncture wound to the strangulation to the beating. He feels he's getting closer to the first, the original crime, the one that started it all. He becomes a recluse, locked in his morgue, a smell of formaldehyde his only companion. He's charting the body's regression, documenting every horrifying change. He's convinced he's on the verge of exposing a monster, a killer who has evaded justice time and time again. The final stage is approaching. The body is now almost pristine, the signs of trauma nearly all gone. He knows the next change will reveal the very first act of violence. He prepares for one last examination. The air in the morgue is heavy, expectant. He pulls back the sheet. The body is almost youthful, almost untouched. But there, on the pale skin of her arm, he sees it. A faint mark, barely visible. The beginning of a needle track. Dexter stares at the bruise. It's a perfect match for a ring he wears, a family heirloom he never takes off. And then, a memory, buried deep, clawing its way to the surface. A foggy night, a regrettable mistake, a young woman he barely knew, a moment of panic. A fatal overdose he'd covered up years ago, long before he became a coroner, long before he dedicated his life to uncovering the truth. The body on the table wasn't revealing the crimes of a monster. It was revealing his own. The truth, he realizes, doesn't just come out. Sometimes it waits. It decays slower than flesh. And in the silent, sterile theater of the morgue, the final story the body had to tell was his. What a chilling concept, right? A story where the detective is the killer and the victim is the only witness. Let me know what you think of this idea in the comments below. If you love diving into dark and twisted stories like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. The story's over. The silence isn't.